It's a new love motivation. It's a lost love that's hard to find.
Hello, Music Multiverse listeners, and welcome to Beyond Your Radio's Unknown Sundays. What is Unknown Sundays? If you don't know, this is where we take an artist or band or something out there in the music world that could be relatively unknown to most of the masses and might have the ability to become something for our listeners to explore. Please remember that this is an extension of the article section on our website, beyondyourradio.com. So if you want the full detail written, it's there. This episode, we explore Love in Reverse, which is a pretty good band name, really. And back in 1996, they had some mojo working, a sound that fit, touring with some really good bands, and odd exposure on a new program, and then an odd break. Side projects galore, and now, suddenly, and I didn't even know this, they're back at it. This one goes beyond the radio in all kinds of ways. But before we go down the cool rabbit hole, I'd like to remind you that if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. 95% or so of people who are watching these are not subscribed. I mean, I understand whether you want to subscribe or not. I really do, because you've got a pile and list maybe, and you got to work through the queue. So, but if you really could, that would really help our channel. If you have subscribed, you know how this goes. So let's get to it. Let's talk about Love in Reverse. So Love in Reverse, pretty cool band name, as I stated already. I thought it was cool when I first heard it. And where did I first hear it? It wasn't on radio. It wasn't in a record store. It was actually on TV. Okay, TV on a program? Nope. It was actually on a news program. Love in Reverse was featured with Peter Frampton. I guess it was about the music industry or how hard it is to make it, as it compared maybe to Frampton and back in his time. And this is 1996. So I don't remember if you remember a program called ABC's Turning Point. Yes, Barbara Walters, all those kind of people are on there. But we'll digress from that. Just note that the band was on there, and the frontman, Michael, was taking her through some of this, what the record industry is like back at that time. So I do remember it, and it drew my attention. And then their album was in the used bin. Boom. And of course, this was in the used bin. And another record here for promotional use only. I've got tons of those kind of albums, really. Obviously, I've told you before, one of the reviewers here in Buffalo turns his CDs in, and I used to be there the day he did. So anyway, here's I Was Here, right there in the store. This is 1996 release. It wasn't on my radar. And why wasn't it on my radar? Well, when you got Rage Against the Machine's second album, you got Tool's second album, Korn, Tori Amos, Fiona Apple, Beck, who would actually be featured on MTV2 as the first video ever shown on MTV2 when it was born. Not to mention REM's Automatic for the People, and album by Metallica that wasn't so well received by the fans of old Metallica, but Load, Reload, one of those was released at that time. So stiff record sales competition. You're not expecting a band like that in their first jump off to really make a dent. But they did all right. They toured with Stabbing Westward, Gravity Kills, Spin Doctors, and even had some work with festival work with Ian Astbury of The Cult. So not to mention they were signed to Warner to Reprise Records. So you got a decent label behind you. So even if they don't give you all the money, they got to reach, right? So they're going to get some really good play. Not only that, Rolling Stone magazine talks about them and says, hey, this is one of the bands to watch, really watch out for. And I honestly think they were right for a change. Words Become Worms, the second release in 1998, showed again, while not a barn burner in record sales again, still generated excellent critical attention and added to the commercial activities of the bandmates, Michael Ferrantino and Andres Carew. not to mention the drummer helper. So Michael's a vocalist, an interesting guitar player. This you got Karu is the keyboard player and does bass. So they managed this mesh this fresh electronica garage band alternative um, pretty well out throughout that late 90s period and into the early 2000s. But they started to have obviously record issues. They weren't selling the big records quantity that the record company wanted, and certainly they had an EP which I never got, but I understood the idea. They were originally named Dog when they first came out, and I think the EP had something to say with dog in it. There are 5 songs on there that were still in the same wheelhouse as Love and Reverse first 2 albums, but I had this feeling that maybe perhaps it was a remainders of the sessions that they had while they were trying to get signed. It's something like they reproduced 20 some albums in that time frame. So maybe there's a back catalog of things that they utilized on that, but it did fit. It was well produced, but I didn't gravitate to it or keep it in my collection. Still, there's no question the band was meant for this, to be in a music world. Michael and Keru, despite the end of Love and Reverse at that time, were doing a lot of side projects together, and some of them collaboratively cool ones. And originally put together that kind of, in that EP they talk about getting injected with something. Maybe this is what they needed to inject, because I'll tell you in a few minutes, they do wind up coming back together, oddly enough. So one of the bands that they put into was Corduroy Poo Poo. Okay, not such a good name as Love and Reverse, but this was like a noisy lo-fi type of electronica garage band kind of fit. Then you had Speak the Worms. This is amalgamation of stories and brain farts. Well, you lost me at brain farts. I haven't looked at one. I don't really think I'm going to, but maybe you out there can listen to it and comment back. The Diablo Project with Diablo, which is a stoner sludge rock, which is really interesting. Bad Time for Robots, outstanding electronic ambient experimental kind of project. He did many albums in this vein with that moniker. I believe got a lot of airplay in internet radio and Fangora maybe. It's kind of soundtracking. The Miles Hunt Club, teaming up with Wonder Stuff frontman Miles Hunt. So they got around, right? But here comes the big surprise. An album in 2020. I didn't even know it. I'm an Illusion. And then in 2022, Fake It. So, damn, how did I not know this? It's so wrapped up in things, but I look at the lists every day. How did I not see the Love and Reverse thing? And I picked this band for 2024 out of a rabbit hole, just going, geez, there's 2 really good albums, kind of like an early feel of maybe Smashing Pumpkins to some degree. I know maybe I'm catching that because of the bald head, but still, I just found the voice engaging. So Ferentino, Caro, and Halpern are back at it again with another album coming in 2024. I don't know the name of it, but they did release a single, I believe. At least it said so on Facebook. Again, I don't listen to singles, so I'm waiting for the album to come out. I won't miss it this time, that's for sure. The rest, and there's quite a bit here for you to explore, I'll leave up to you. I expect a report back next week before Unknown Sunday, right? No, I'm kidding. You don't have to. Anyway, Love and Reverse albums in my collection. Obviously, the first one called I Was Here. And Words Become Worms. I don't have anything else. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Articles, videos, podcasts, all about albums, artists, and bands. Don't forget to catch me every single day this March in Madness for album for today. Go beyond your radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. Until tomorrow, happy listening.